Now, growing traffic on the world's roads is producing more and more pollution, especially in urban areas. And that includes fine particles that pose a major health risk because they are small enough to pass through the lungs. The EU has imposed limits on the concentration of particles in the air, but those levels are often exceeded on a big city streets. Now, some scientists in Berlin have been looking at ways of cleaning the air the natural way. Let's see what Germans think of a walk on the wild side.
It's pretty. The wildflowers look lovely.
I'm pleased it's green.
I think it would be nicer if it looked tidier.
In the summer of 2009, Berlin students of landscape architecture and urban ecology asked passers-by what they thought of wild roadside greenery. Scientists already discovered years ago that trees absorb some atmospheric pollutants. Could wildflowers do it as well? Berlin has more than 5,000 kilometers of roads. Wherever there are cars, there are dust particles in the air. They come from exhaust fumes and wear and tear on brakes and tires. Some particles are tiny and remain in the air for long periods, being inhaled by city inhabitants. The researchers carried out experiments at 12 locations in the city. Here on Berlin's Karl-Marx-Allee, more than 60,000 cars pass through each day. So how much dust do the lawn, tumbleweed mustard, and yarrow take up? Researchers from Berlin's Technical University planted a total of 16 types of wildflower with different leaf surfaces and structures. They also monitored places where there was less traffic. Special devices that trap dust particles on an adhesive surface were used to collect data. Then researchers compared different dust concentrations. This was gathered where traffic was light. This is the result of heavy traffic. The scientists wanted to find out if all the wild plants are equally effective at binding dust. The leaf surfaces of different species were examined under a microscope, and the dust particles, here in black, were counted. After 4 years' work, the results are in. Common knotgrass is the best dust catcher, followed by mugwort, goosefoot, dandelions, and Dutch clover.
Our experiments show that the more traffic there is on any given street, the more dust is found on the leaf surfaces.
They found that leaves covered with fine hairs catch the most dust. And the more difference in the height and the greater the species diversity, the better they worked as filters.
Our work indicates that it's time to get away from English-style grass lawns and flower beds with just one type of flower. Instead, roadside vegetation that grows wild and of which there's plenty can help keep the air clean in many ways.
The survey also showed that if more people knew about this, the more accepting they would be of letting things grow wild on the wayside.
Well, that wraps it up for this week's programme. We do hope you enjoyed today's topics, though. And remember that if you need a science fix in between shows, you can always head for our website for more details and background information. You'll find lots of interesting links there, or you can check us out on Facebook. But from now, from all of us here in Berlin, take care, and we'll see you next time on Tomorrow Today.